Hi, this is Margo. This is Monday evening, January the 17th, 2022. I hope everyone is safe and doing as well as possible. I'm okay. I apologize for not doing my show last night for YouTube. I got toxified on Saturday and still not quite over it. I was getting gas and in my car, and the pump didn't shut off at the fuel pump didn't shut off, and so it overflowed gas and ran out of my gas tank, and I got exposed to all those gas fumes as I was cleaning it up. So that's my story, and I'm real sensitive to all kinds of stuff, so that kind of put me over the edge, and I'm better. I'll be okay. This is just another one of those things that it just has to work through my system. But so I couldn't do the show last night. Anyway, and I didn't feel good when I woke up today, but I'm a lot better than that, so it'll just take a few days. So tonight I'm gonna go over methane for Saturday the 15th for NOAA and for CAMS, and we'll do our weekly update there, and then I want to do an overview of what's gone on with the volcano going off at Tonga, and then look at a few earthquakes, and then next week I'll show the sea ice when I do my update on Sunday. We'll be back on course. So I do updates during the week for my Subscribe members, and posts, and also videos, and I'll be doing my midweek update early. Normally I do it on Wednesday for my Subscribe members, but that's going to be tomorrow, and we'd love to have you over there. It's only $5 a month, and that's one way you can help support the cause for all. I mean, this isn't free. I mean, it's an expense, but it's my mission, and I'm happy to do it. But if you'd like to support the cause and get updates during the week on all kinds of stuff, come on over. And the link is in the description box below. So let's move on. So here we've got methane for the 15th, which was Saturday, for the MET-OP-B, aka MET-OP-1 satellite in the morning. And I've been tracking the 477/469 millibar reading. The mean or average was 1910 parts per billion. The high reading was 2422. And in the afternoon, the mean was 1913, and the high reading was 2421. Here's our spreadsheet. So for the 15th, that averaged out to be 1911.5 parts per billion, and that was an increase over the day before of 2.5. But it was still lower. It ended up with a decrease for the week of 3 parts per billion, and we're 22.5 parts per billion higher than a year ago. Now, we'll come back to this in a second, but here's the chart. So it went down this week I didn't know if we'd bottomed out for this season yet or not. I think we have, though, finally. But let's see, last year it bottomed out in January the 12th of 2021. It bottomed out at 1882.5. So the 12th happened this last week, and I'll show you all that in a minute. But so here's the line. For the last 2 weeks it's gone down 7 parts per billion total. Even though it went up at the end of December, it wasn't done. So I'll show you what it's done this week. So here we were last Sunday for my report. This was the Saturday data. Was 1914.5, and that was a decrease that week of 4 parts per billion. And then no change on Sunday. And then Monday it went down 1 part per billion. On Tuesday it went down another 1 part per billion. On Wednesday, no change. On Thursday it went down 0.5 part per billion. On Friday it took a steep dive of 3 parts per billion. It was 1909, and we haven't seen it that low. That's our lowest one right there. And then for Saturday it hopped up 2.5. So I'm thinking that was our lowest level. I think we're headed up now. And at one point on the 12th we were 30 parts per billion higher than a year ago. So it's just crazy. That's not good. That's just not good. So methane is out of control, definitely, and we're in no man's land. So it's just hard to know what to expect from week to week and day to day here. So here I've got Saturday the 15th pulled up on CAMS, Arctic view and surface level pulled up. Here's our color ledger. So the data is for Saturday, and then the forecast period runs Sunday through Wednesday. So we still have it billowing here around CAMS NOAA and high readings here in the North Kara Sea. See it streaming off of Russia out across the Kara Sea. Also coming up from Siberia across the Laptev Sea and the East Chukchi Sea. And then look how that dark area, now watch in the forecast period, it's a new release that comes up here right on the coastline of Siberia. And then we've got this is at Koktovik, Alaska, still very high readings. So I think that that we're seeing evidence of blowouts here from the seafloor. But there's no way to know for sure. We don't have access to that information. We're not on the inside, we're on the outside. And there were 2 earthquakes right up here, 4.8 and a 4.9 yesterday. Came in last night, and not very far from the North Pole. There's a tectonic plate line that runs right through here, and it separates the North American plate with the Eurasian plate. So that's, that's moving a lot there. Now we'll go to the North Pole view. So it's looking pretty bad. Europe, all the way through Spain and Portugal. See it streaming off the coastlines there with that dark, and see it's just one big blob going all the way across through Germany and UK up here. Here's the Persian Gulf. Here's India streaming over. Here's China. See the waves moving out. Korea, and see the it's like these concentric circles moving out. And then in the US, at certain times you'll see you see just big blobs of that dark color. That's the highest reading. That's a range between 2160 and 10,000 parts per billion, and I don't know why they downsized or downgraded the high range there when they redid this color chart, but because with methane going up, I don't know why they thought it would just stop at 10,000 with methane going up. So before it ended at, I think it was 67,500. So why they downgraded that a few years ago, and they haven't changed it since then, is beyond me. They just keep changing data sets and they leave the color chart the same. Whatever. I don't get it. Now we'll look at the Antarctic. Where am I going? Now here you'll see the decrease in methane more than in the northern hemisphere. We're starting to see this navy blue color. That's 1800 parts per billion. That's kind of creeping in. This next color up, this light blue, that's 1820, and then the more aqua color is 1840. And see, as that goes away and we get more of the light blue in, we're able to separate and see where it's coming up around the coastlines of the Antarctic. When it comes up independently from where it was already kind of a background color, like here at the Brunt ice sheet, we can see that it's still coming up there. It's still coming up here in the Weddell Sea around that little island. Also on this Larsen Sea ice shelf. Now watch. once it isolates. See, watch here. See there in the forecast period. Also here at the Amory ice shelf, it's coming up. See that? Also on this east coast. So it's right at the end of the forecast period as it goes lower in this southern hemisphere. See, if I stop it there, we can see here the Brunt ice shelf and then this east coast. Here's a little area popping up on the southern, right next to the Ross Sea. And see here it's coming back up here on the Amory ice shelf and so on. Now we'll look at the global view. Look how it's filling up in South America. Now, of course, they're in their summertime, so we'll be seeing more methane further south here. So this is all Brazil in here. There's that. And we'll go to 500 HPA. Now this is about the same level as what we're tracking on the NOAA data. See all the dark? It likes to gather over the Arctic. So that's where the highest readings are there, over the northern part. And then total column. So here's where methane is added up through all the layers of the atmosphere. And see it's highest over China, a little bit here at India, and so on. And see all these reds. And red over South America. So there's that. Now, I wanted to show a couple of things. This is sulfur dioxide from yesterday. And here's the Pacific view. And this is from Tonga. Where you see the ripples, and you're going to keep seeing these ripples whenever it's exploding or erupting. It's just sending out these ripples. And this is the wolf from the Wolf Volcano in the Galapagos Islands. It's been going off. And then we've got a hot spot here in Colombia, and see it's gathering. This is at 500 HPA, so here is where it's left over and moved up towards Mexico from the Galapagos Islands, and then some of it moved down. But here it is, how it's spread out at 500 HPA. This is about halfway up in the atmosphere. leave that there. And then here it is today. Now look at the difference. See, whenever there's a more release of sulfur dioxide, you know, of course it's going to show up on CAMS. It usually shows up on CAMS the day after the release, as far as volcanoes go. So now Tonga is right in this area. So see, it's spread out all the way across, and even across Australia here. And look at these shock waves out here. This is 500 HPA. Now we can also look on CAMS. Now, nobody is really reporting on this, but let's see. I'll go to Pacific View for this. The Tonga Volcano started up actually on the 13th. And we first saw, see the release here on the 14th. Wait, let me go back. We gotta rewind. Here it is. So that was on the 14th. That was the release from the 13th. And that was not the big one that looked like the nuclear bomb went off. Now let's go back. We can go back to the 13th. And we'll see if there's anything there. Okay, we gotta rewind. Let's see. Just a little bit streaming over. Nothing significant. Nothing I would say, oh look, that's gonna blow up. And so let's run that for the 13th. See, nothing there. So then if we go to the 14th, there it is. There's the first release, and that was from the 13th. Now I'm going to go take you to Zoom Earth, and we're going to walk through this. Oh, and here's what came up yesterday. And look at that, see the straight line? That's kind of more of how we see the volcanoes shoot up. We don't see them go up like a nuclear bomb usually. So here's the 13th. Now this is the little island here. Now I'm going to go back. Okay. Now this is Zoom Earth. I've got it set to my time, which is Pacific time in the USA, and you'll hear certain different dates as to when these volcanoes went off. And see, Tonga is a day ahead, so anyway, so on their calendar it was the 14th, but it was the 13th on my calendar. And so this started, and here's the little island, and it's actually two islands that here's what they look like, one on the right and one on the left. And it had erupted so much in the past that it built a bridge between these islands. But this whole area is part of an underwater caldera. You can see it really good on Google Earth. Here, see, this is, you can see, this is, see, here's the big volcano itself. This is like the mouth of it, and it's two craters there, two huge ones, right? And so, but this is like a super caldera. Here's the island where, and this is what it looked like in November, and this was two islands, like I said, one up here, one down here, and this was the bridge that was made from all the eruptions that happened. Not recently, this was through a few years, or maybe a long time, but anyway, there are different reports about what happened, and now they're saying that the island, the bridge is gone, and that what's left of these islands is pretty much gone too. I don't know for sure, and you know, we may never know exactly what happened here and what triggered all of this, because some of this just doesn't look natural to me. But right down here is where it blew, and so it affected, well, where the one on the 14th where it blew. But you know, it could have been blowing up all around, and we just don't know, because this is all just one big caldera. So let's go back now. Where was I? Okay, we're on Zoom Earth. So here's the little island. So here we were on the 13th, and there it is, between 7 and 8 in the morning. See? That's from the first. This was before the big one on the 14th that looks like a nuclear bomb. Here's where it started on the 13th at 7:30 a.m. You see that? This goes, see, I can advance it or make it go back in 10-minute increments. So nothing here at 7:10. Here's a little gray stuff coming up at 7:20, and here it is at 7:30. And if we look at Volcano Discovery, they post all these observations and pictures and things. This is the website that I post from on my Subscribe page. Now I look at other websites too, but this is the main one that I post from. So here's what it looked like January 3rd. And remember, Tonga had been going off in December for a few weeks, and then it stopped for 2 weeks. And then here, see, Thursday, January 13th, it says eruption, and it said it was ongoing eruption to 55,000 feet, and this was posted 1800 UTC time. But we can see here, there, that's where it started And see, it blew up fast, didn't it? This is 10 minutes. And so it filled up the whole screen here. If we go by 10 minutes, see how? And so it was white for the 13th, and that was this sulfur dioxide that showed up on the 14th. Then if we click on through, if we move on to the 14th, see the cloud has kind of dissipated, and then the first big one, now it was puffing away a little bit during the day, but nothing huge, nothing significant. And then at 8, hold on, here we go. Here it is on January 14th. This is my time, 8 p.m. my time, Pacific. Here we are. There's the little island. Now watch. If we go to 8:10, here's the big thing that shows up, and you can see the ripples. See the ripples in the cloud there. There's a shadow. Now it was getting towards evening for them. It was, I think it was around 6:10 their time in the evening, which would have been on the 15th. And then if we go forward, see, by 10-minute increments, and this is, see how it keeps blowing up. And this just doesn't look natural to me. Look at that. And see it's coming out at the bottom here. And this is the image that most of the people have seen at 9:20 there. Let's see. That's a lot different than just the white cloud from the 13th, isn't it? And here it's starting to get dark. See, you can still see the cloud in the dark here. And see, it's still spreading out. I'm still going by 10 minutes here. And then we'll go by the 1 hours. See, and so here we are on the 15th. Here's 4 a.m. And this is full of ash. And now this was underwater volcano that blew up. And so there's a lot of water vapor mixed in. And this caused a 5.8 magnitude earthquake. And the water really buffers anything that happens underground, and so under the water. So I mean, if this had been on ground, it would have been if this had been not underwater, I mean, that would have just been a huge disaster. I mean, this was bad enough. Now here, this is, this should be daylight now, but on the 15th, but the Himawari satellite went down, supposedly, and so, see, it didn't really get it. See, it's all dark over here. It didn't really pick everything up. And then, so here we still are on the 15th. Can't really make it much out, right? Here we are on the 16th. Here it is, nighttime. Yeah, look, it's light. The satellite is back. 10 a.m. See, so for the day after that huge blowout, the Himawari, which is in the southern hemisphere, went down supposedly. Now let's go back in. See, there was another blast, and it was, so here was the one from the 14th. See, with 86,000 lightning flashes. See, looks all these different pictures. Here's another picture. We'll go through this one in a minute. Then there was another eruption. Where did I see it? You have to go through, you have to look at the titles here of these ash advisories. Large eruption, here it is. See, large eruption observed, and this was, if you click on that, it tells you 16 to 16:10 Zulu time. And so Volcanic Ash Advisory Center, Darwin, issued the following report at 16:39 UTC on 1/16 from ADRM Volcanic Ash Advisory. Here's the Tonga, Hapai, and Tonga satellite imagery. Large eruption. But, of course, they didn't show a picture of that. Why would they not show a picture of that? I don't know. And so here it is, where it's going off. See? And we've got some clouds mixed in here. Now, here it was at noon. And then, if I see, I'm clicking forward every 10 minutes. Now watch this plume here. That's the smoke. This is from the large eruption. But some people have reported that this was even more deadly than the one from the 14th, but I just don't see evidence of that. Not from the satellite. See, there it is. And that's it. Now here comes another one at 2:50. Maybe this is it. See, it's kind of spewing out there. See the ash going way up. Maybe this was it. The big cloud. Could be. It sure looks different than the one that looked like a nuclear bomb, huh? So these were two different kinds. And look at these trails. That almost looks like contrails, doesn't it? See that? It's very strange. This is all just very strange. So, I don't know. And see, there's the little, supposedly the island. Now, here it is on NASA Worldview today. So there's the plume of the ash coming up. And remember, so they're a day ahead, remember, so it says the 17th, but it would be the 16th for me on Zoom Earth, but 17th here on NASA Worldview. We can go back to that. There it is, see? That's what they were showing. This plume here. See? There it is. And it seems to be kind of a blackout of information on this second big one. And it's been going off ever since Wednesday the 13th. And no one's talking about that, they're saying. All they're talking about is the one from the 14th/15th. So let's look at this report. This is showing dramatic morphological changes to shape. Let's see. The water's covering that up or washing it away. So here's the little right one and left one, and here's where the magma had come up and made built out the bridge. See, to the islands. So we can look now. This is, it says current shape, but it's not current anymore. That was as of yesterday, I think. This picture is from January the 7th. Now, you'll see pictures that I've seen this picture posted for the volcano here blowing up, but I don't think that's correct. This is from January 7th. And then this one is from November 17th. So the shape keeps changing depending on what kind of magma is deposited at the surface after this caldera, after it goes off in the water. And it could blow up through here, but it's this, it's a whole big region. It's not just right there. So if we read this, it says, recent satellite images show dramatic and significant morphological changes in the volcano shape during the recent activity. Judging from the latest image after today's massive eruption, says January 16th, and comparing to previous images from November 17th and January 7th, it seems that most of the island is destroyed. See, this was posted Sunday at 3:07. UTC. So I don't know why they said today's massive eruption, January 16th. It happened the day before. Here's previous news. Anyway, You can see all of the posts here at Volcano Discovery. I will leave the link below for the Tonga Volcano. And that's it. Now they're saying the ash is moving west. Yeah, we saw that. That's what we saw. See, here we are today. See, the ash is moving west. So there's that. So that's kind of all I wanted to report on. You'll see all kinds of reports out there. There are a lot of people reporting on this, but this is a big deal. And if we look at USGS, let me turn on 7 days, all magnitudes. So, wait, that's 400 and 4.5. This is 4.5 magnitudes or higher. Now here's the eruption. See, it shows up as a diamond. 5.8 volcanic eruption, and see, the reporting station was Nuku Alofa, Tonga, which was south of the actual eruption. Let's see. So it happened up here. And I don't know if we can even see the little island. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So there's the, so it's not showing the bridge, it's just showing, oh, too close. That's as close as I can go, I think. Here we go. It's just showing the one on the right and the one on the left, and no bridge. And then here, no tsunami right now, but here's the history. You can go look at all of these tsunami warnings, and you know, there were tsunamis that went around the Pacific from this, and this is just a precursor of things to come. We're in the end times, and things like this were prophesied of. But I think that the big one that we saw on the 14th, that looked like the nuclear bomb, I don't think that was purely nature. So I think it got tweaked, frankly. Let's turn on all magnitudes for the last 7 days. And here, right up here, up at the top, you see where the line goes? So here's Severni Zemlya, here's Komsomolets, where we're seeing all that methane spewing up on CAMS. So not too far from there is where those 2 earthquakes came in. Here, let's turn on, let's turn on 7 days, 4.5 magnitude. Yeah. Let's see if we can see. Here they are. See? 4.9 Severni Zemlya, That was last night at 7:31 my time. And then at 4.8, 5 minutes later at 7:36. So, you know, this shook up the world. It shook up all the plate lines, and the magma's rising. We had, here's a 4.5 on the southern tip of Greenland. That came in on the 15th at 5:26 in the morning. We've had, look, we had a 6.1 at Papua New Guinea. Look at this depth, 408 kilometers deep. This came in yesterday at 4:52 in the morning. Look at up here. Look at up here in the Aleutian Islands. Look at this. We had 2 6s here, the same place at Nikolsky, 6.8 on the 11th at 3:35 in the morning, and then a 6.6 at 4:39. So just an hour apart. That's at Nikolsky. Look at all of those. 14 large ones, 4.5 or higher here in the Aleutian Islands. See, that's just, okay, that's, what have we got? So that's 105, 4.5 magnitude or higher. Now if we go to all magnitudes, 7 days, 2,149 in the last week. You can see all around. So that's my report for tonight. And I'm going to finish the show with a Bible reading. And I finished the book of John during the week. And that finished us up for the New Testament. And now I'm starting on the Old Testament, starting in Genesis. I started that a few days ago. Genesis chapter 4. This was right after the Adam and Eve being kicked out of the garden. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived, and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Methuselah, and Methuselah begat Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Ada bare Jabal, and he was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's son was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said she, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Genesis chapter 4. I just can't impress upon you enough how short the time is. I mean, time is so short, and we have to endure until the end, whatever that is, whenever that is, for each of us. And only God knows when that is, and God can overcome whatever Satan does. God can override whatever Satan does. And if God wants you here and you've got a mission for God, He'll keep you here and make sure that you're able to do it if you're walking with Him. So, I love you all, and I'm praying for you. And if you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ, I highly recommend it. Now's the time. Now's the time to start a personal walk with Jesus, and He'll walk you right out of the past and into the future with Him in heaven when it's time. So I love you all and I'm praying for you. And until next time, God bless you. Go in peace, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.